The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Good morning. Court Radio is now in session. Call 215-227-2727. When you've got legal questions, we've got the answers. This is Court Radio. And now here's your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning and welcome to Court Radio. It's Sunday, the 26th of July, and this is your opportunity to get your legal questions answered. All you got to do is give us a call at 215-227-2727. That's the number for all your legal issues in Philadelphia and the area. I'm joined in the studio with my co-host, the one, the only, the inimitable David M. Rappaport.
Good morning.
Yo, Dave.
Watching Curious George.
Yeah, we got TV in the studio.
I remember Curious George growing up.
Yeah, okay. Folks, 215-227-2727. Call in with your legal questions, and I won't have to listen to David talking about
Curious George?
There you go.
Come on, you remember Curious George.
I do not.
You don't?
No. I had a deprived childhood.
You really, well, you didn't even know, you don't even know
have
the latest
TVs.
news stories.
No TV.
You didn't even know that Cole Hamels was, maybe leaving the Phillies even before he threw his no-hitter.
How about that? Cole Hamels throws a no-hitter after such a bad year where just, there's nothing to look up,
right.
Nothing to brighten your day when it comes to the Phillies. And out in Chicago, in the enemy's camp,
you know what I was shocked to hear? That was the 13th no-hitter thrown by Philly in
forever.
13th.
Yeah, forever.
That's crazy.
I know. I mean, the Phillies have been in existence for, 100 years? I mean,
yeah, but the last one was
more than 100 years.
Was what's his name? Holiday.
Roy. Yeah. Ray Holiday. And
Ray Holiday.
And Kurt Hamels.
Yeah, right. Your knowledge is stellar.
Well, the Phillies. I mean, like, if you're not winning.
Mark Hamels and Cole Holiday.
If you're not winning, who cares about you? If you're winning, we're throwing you a parade. If you're losing, we don't remember your name. 215-227-2727. We got callers calling. David, the first question of the day.
Yes. Oh, you have an email question.
I do.
Nice.
And
who's that from?
It's from Milton. Yeah, Milton.
Mr. Street, huh?
No, different.
Oh, okay.
Different Milton. Wait a minute. Let me get it up here. We announced last week that Court Radio has its website.
Yes.
Right? CourtRadio.com. Just get over there, right? Whenever you want. And you can post a question.
And we'll get to them.
And we'll get to them.
We are. And
it comes right to my phone.
And you're going to read it from your phone.
Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, no, the abbreviated version. No, it's good. So Milt, let's call him Uncle Milty.
Okay.
Uncle Milty was in a car accident. Not his fault. He had a left turn arrow. He's making a left turn, and the guy coming the opposite way disregards a red traffic signal, and the two of them collide in the intersection. And damages are caused to both cars, and there may be bodily injuries, but Uncle Milty didn't get into that.
Okay.
So that's the story.
Gotcha.
The backstory is that Uncle Milty, one day before this accident,
got rid of
his insurance lapsed. Yeah, one day.
Uncle Milty, you're killing me.
And, of course, he's sued by the other car
right.
who claims that he had the green light.
Aha.
So there's a dispute between drivers. The police arrived on the scene, and they couldn't tell who had the green light and who had the red arrow. No witnesses. So a lawsuit ensues.
And Milty has got
Uncle Milty says, help, right. I need some help. And I said, listen, we don't normally we represent the injured party here at My Philly Lawyer, but we would take your case, but it's not on a contingent fee basis.
Right. There's no insurance. You don't have insurance. And
ordinarily, when a client comes to us, we take a percentage of the monies we recover on behalf of the client. Uncle Milty, being the defendant in this case,
he's not going to recover anything.
Not going to recover a plumb nickel.
He's just trying to prevent having to pay.
He's trying
While he may be in the right, he needs a lawyer. Now, had he had insurance, they would have appointed a lawyer for him.
There you go. So if you have insurance,
So-
one of the benefits of insurance is if you're sued, your insurance company retains counsel to represent you. But Uncle Milty,
Right.
no insurance, no counsel.
And the reason that other person is probably doing this, even if they know that they were wrong, is, there is a left-hand turn law, which, absent any evidence that there's a green arrow, red light, whatever, the law is pretty clear that if you're making a left, you have to make sure the way is clear, and you're implicitly held to be responsible. So unless you have evidence to prove that you had the green arrow and they went through a red light, you're going to probably lose.
Well, there's going to be a split of liability, no doubt.
Yeah. There's going to be right.
So you'll be responsible. Just the question is
How much,
How
yeah.
much? And it really, at that point, it gets down to, I think,
Credibility.
to credibility and to the talent of your counsel. And if you have no counsel, the outcome is a foregone conclusion.
You're done.
You're Milt. You're going to lose.
You need counsel. You're going to have to pay up.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, how much are they suing you for, and how much will the lawyer charge you?
Okay, Uncle Milty says he did about $10,000 in damage to the other car, and that doesn't include a claim potentially for bodily injuries. That's just the property damage.
Right. Well, hopefully it's just for property damage in municipal court, and if it is, your lawyer won't cost that much.
Right.
Certainly not $10,000.
Right.
So it's worth getting a lawyer. If it's a bigger case, I don't know. I mean, it could cost. Lawyer gets involved, has to answer a complaint, do depositions, all that kind of stuff.
It can go into the tens of thousands of dollars if this drags out and it becomes a huge, possibly.
Don't.
So now, what's the downside? What if Uncle Milty does nothing?
Gets a judgment.
He's going to get a judgment against him.
If he has assets?
Yep.
Things in his name, then they can execute on the judgment. If he owns nothing or really has very little, then you have a judgment. And
wait a minute, hold on, you're forgetting the worst thing possible. What happens to his license?
Right? Yeah.
What happens to his operating license? Yeah. So his driver's license,
because he didn't have insurance.
The thing that makes him legal. Soon as there's a judgment against us for a amount of damages, whether it's $1 or $1,000, as soon as there's a judgment against us,
bye-bye.
When we don't have insurance, we lose our license to drive until we've paid that judgment. And so Uncle Milt could lose his license for the rest of his life as long as a judgment exists out there. And so he really has to fight this thing. And having no insurance was a very bad day.
Yeah, people don't realize the negatives of not having car insurance. That's one of them. That's a huge one. Second one is you don't have medical. If you don't have your own medical insurance, you're not going to have any medical benefits under your car insurance because you don't have it. So you can't have medical paid for if you're injured. There's a host of issues that are just penalties, basically.
Yeah, in essence,
you are penalized.
You're in deep doo-doo if you don't have insurance. Get it, keep it, but get the right insurance. And David and I have talked about it a million times, and I'd be happy to do seminars for your group to talk about what kind of insurance do you need. Because why should you pay these big insurance companies tons of money and then just not have the right coverage? It makes no sense. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk to Carol from Trenton, New Jersey, who's got a car accident question. Good morning, Carol, and welcome to Court Radio.
Morning.
How are you?
We're well.
We're well. And
Well, I have a question. My aunt, Jeanette Holmes,
yes,
she was in a car accident in 2007, and she was hit. And they messed up her shoulder, and she went for therapy and everything and thought it was better. Now, this year, last year really, almost going into January, yeah, that was January, she got hit again.
Okay.
All right.
And?
Now she's going for therapy, and they want to do surgery on that shoulder.
Okay.
So she says, I don't know what to do. She says, I had the settlement. She says, but now I'm hurt for the same shoulder, but have to have surgery.
Well, this is a common.
Your program, and I was going to try to see if I could get through, which I did last Sunday, but I didn't get through it, and I'm trying again this morning.
Well, we got you covered now.
All right, so this is a common problem.
I don't even think it's a problem.
It happens every day. Well, it poses a little bit of an additional issue, but nonetheless, she has an injury in 07. She treats for the injury. To some extent, she gets better. Maybe there's a little bit of a lingering problem. She has a new accident now, and what was the problem before, it's exacerbated or aggravated. Those are the terms typically used by doctors. And, of course, she's entitled to compensation for the new claim as if this were a new injury, for all of the aggravation. So if she was on the pain scale, just using an objective number, if she was a 2 out of 10 up until this accident, and now she's a 9 out of 10, and she might need surgery, well, that aggravation or exacerbation from 2 to 9 is all compensable under the new claim. And the old claim has nothing to do with that. The old claim may have put her in a position where she's more susceptible to injury, but by no means did the old claim cause her current condition.
Yeah, let's go old school to law school. And the little maxim that we have in law school, it's called eggshell skull. And what that means is if you and I are in a car and I'm perfectly healthy, but you broke your arm 10 years ago, and your arm has something, it didn't really heal properly, and it's more prone to breaking. And we both, we get into an accident, God forbid, and I'm fine, but because your arm was, quote unquote, brittle, it broke again. The person who caused the accident is responsible for that, even though you were more susceptible to be injured than a normal person, quote unquote.
Okay.
They have to pay for what they caused. So if they caused an additional, problem or an exacerbation of a pre-existing problem, it has to be paid for.
So, bottom line, you tell old Annie to give us a call at 215-227-2727. We'll make sure she's protected. We'll make sure she's compensated appropriately for her injuries. And for sure, if she's got a need for surgery, she's got a significant matter.
Yeah, she better, and make sure that she does it very quickly, because you only have 2 years from the date of the collision, or else she's done. So she needs to do it right away.
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
Hey, Carol, stay on the line. We're going to get you a T-shirt for your great question, and you make sure Aunt gives us a call. Have a great Sunday, and thanks for calling Court Radio.
Thank you.
All right, just stay on the line. 215-227-2727. What's going on in the news, Big Dave?
Well, we already talked about Mark Hamill.
It's Kurt Hamill.
Kurt. What else we got?
Dr. Ray Holiday.
Dr. Ray Holiday, right. Oh, we got that one story, the Tacony mailman. I just thought, this tickled me. The mailman who stashed mail in his car in his garage. I don't know. What is this guy? He went postal.
Yeah.
As we like to say.
Was he just a lazy slug, or does he have some sort of emotional attachment to the mail he delivers? It's like children to him. He just can't give them back to their owners.
But I think one of my letters might be there, because haven't been getting some mail lately.
Yeah.
There's a lot. They listed the mail that he had. Oh, my God. There's a lot of stuff. 7,000 first-class letters, 11,000 regular letters with treasury checks in some of them. Political mail, nonprofit letters.
How about my Sears catalog from last Christmas?
Shit,
no wonder I didn't get any presents.
Yeah, I don't think they've made the Sears catalog in like 50 years, for God's sake. Dean, Sears catalog.
What's the internet, David?
Yeah.
Catalogs, that's what I want. I want catalogs. He probably held some catalogs too.
And then
don't you think it was like maybe a little bit of a fire hazard in his house?
A fire? Maybe he's a hoarder. He was,
Hey, careful there. It's his radio.
Okay. Hoarder. And then the other story, which I'm kind of partial to, because you've done this actually to me.
I have?
You've butt dialed me. Everyone, I think, has been
I want to tell you
butt dialer or suffered a butt dial.
No, but
from a
listen,
cell phone.
You know me and cell phones.
I
right?
do.
I'm going to make an admission to you.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
And it's not an easy admission.
Okay. You hate your cell phone.
This phone
is a piece of...
Boop. Yeah, I want to take this
Really?
phone. I want to throw
Wow,
it.
people, you don't know how how amazing this is right now, listeners.
Samsung,
Dean is in love with
the Samsung Edge.
Now you had to go there.
Oh yeah,
They're going to send the Yakuza out to
the
knock you
Galaxy
out,
S6.
Oh my God,
Samsung.
he's naming the phone too.
It's
the
the
Edge.
worst. Oh my goodness!
Really, they're marketing that like
this
crazy.
thing butt dials like crazy. Even like when I hit something to close a screen, I'm forever calling CP Meraki. I mean, that guy gets 50 phone calls from me a day, butt dialed. He doesn't even answer my call anymore.
Why him?
I don't know. The phone's crazy.
Well, the reason
I'm begging for a new phone to
come
out.
Oh, there's plenty out. Okay.
Ugh.
The reason I bring it up is in Kentucky, and I think this really anywhere I think would be the same result. A judge ruled that if you butt dial someone and they record what they hear on the, let's say you accidentally dial someone and you're in a meeting and you start talking and they hear it. They're not supposed to hear it.
I'm going to let you out of court radio. I'm leaving you go. You're no longer my co-host. I'm bringing in somebody with more talent.
And let's say, right.
And
thanks. I mean, that's the call that you're making, and I'm listening to it because you butt dialed me.
I butt dialed you.
Right. So then I send, someone out to kill you. No, but really, so what happened here was it was a business meeting. One of the board or some one member of the board butt dialed someone else to talk about firing the CEO of the company, and another board member got the call and recorded all of it, and then at the board meeting played the thing. So he sued her, saying you violated the privacy and da-da-da-da.
No privacy.
And the judge said there's no privacy. You should know how to operate your phone, and if you butt dialed someone, you should suffer you have no privacy interest because you dialed the person. You knew that they were going to hear it.
Right.
So butt dialers out there, which is almost everyone, and especially if you have the Galaxy S6 Edge,
this thing,
as Dean had.
Horrible.
Yeah. Mine never butt dials.
215-227-2727. Don't be butt dialing today.
No, you have no privacy.
But you can intentionally dial court radio or My Philly Lawyer at 215-227-2727. Can you imagine getting a butt dial into court radio? Somebody planning their next crime. The postman.
I just want the butt dial that tells me where the hidden treasure of, King Tutankhamun is.
All right, let's talk to that little state from the South, Dover, Delaware. We got Tina on the line 1. Hey, Tina, welcome to Court Radio.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Well.
I'm actually calling about a friend of mine. She was recently in a car accident,
Right.
and someone made a U-turn and hit her.
I hate when that
And
happens.
Now, it was really you, wasn't it?
No. Thank
come
God it
on.
wasn't.
All right.
Well, the thing is, I guess I'm wondering, how important is she has actually witnesses that were there that she got the names, phone numbers, and they're willing to testify that it wasn't her fault, the lady hit her, etc. But the problem is the police officer that came out to give to take the report.
Mm-hmm.
He was very, I guess, kind of nasty or whatever. I don't know, what the situation was. And she had told him 3 times what happened. And because reason why I'm saying is because she had videotaped some of the conversation, and he was not very friendly. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
So basically, he said that because she wasn't answering all of his questions, he's unable to do the police report. So I guess my question is, how important is his report with her case? She does have several witnesses.
Well, let me just say before Dean, if our careers as lawyers representing victims in accidents rested upon the veracity of a police report.
Veracity?
Yes, which is the truth.
Okay.
Right.
We would be out of business because, and you agree with that, right, Dean? Police reports have...
That was a leading question. But...
they have a bearing on the case, but much more powerful is a witness, an eyewitness. Police officers didn't witness anything. So
Exactly.
whatever they write on, I've had police reports that say car 1 was car 2 and car 2 was car 1. They were going west, but they were going east. I mean, words spelled wrong.
Oh,
come on. It's let's be real here.
But the word spelled wrong.
Yeah.
It's rare to find a police report
Without a mistake.
grammatical or spelling errors.
Right. So the point being, witnesses rule the day, in my opinion. And
I 100% agree with David, and you'll rarely hear me say that. There's two things more important than a police officer's report. That is witness statements and the physical damage to the car.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
how the accident happened is usually spelled out by how the damage occurred.
usually.
And
Exactly.
so she should not feel the least bit bad about an inaccurate or just a
not
bad
even, yeah.
police report. Or a police report.
Should she try to get it or just forget it? Or
Well, she should get a lawyer is what she should do. If she's got injuries,
She's
from-
got a claim, yeah.
Yeah, if she's got a claim, if she's got injuries, her attorney should be the one who's getting the police report. Yes, you want to get it. You want to have all
No,
the
she
evidence.
meant
The witness statements?
No. I don't.
No.
If I understand correctly, the police didn't
he
write a
said
report. Right.
well,
Right.
he said what he's going to write is because she was not answering all of his questions, he can't finish the report.
Whatever. Let him
that's
write
supposed
that.
to mean.
Let him
Yeah,
write that.
I mean, she doesn't need it.
No.
What she needs to do
Okay.
is
Get the witnesses. Yeah.
give the witnesses'
has
names to her attorney, and then
Mhm.
the attorney will get the statements.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
I
Tina.
can't ask another question, can I?
No,
Well-
you're a long enough listener of Core Radio that you even
You
know
knew that. You
Yes.
should have asked if you could, which
No.
makes me
Real
want
quick.
to let her do it.
But Tina,
Yeah.
and that's a B-U-T-T. But Tina, I'm going to give your little slip back to Monica and get you a Court Radio T-shirt.
How about this?
Okay.
Look
Email
how
it.
Look how disappointed she sounds.
I know.
Okay.
How about
that's
this?
okay.
Email, go to courtradio.com right now, if you can.
Uh-huh.
Email
Yeah.
the question, the second question.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we'll read it.
I'll read it online on the air, and I'll answer it too. That's a
Okay, thank you.
that's a trick away around
That's right.
around our rules.
There's a trick.
Stay on the line though. Monica's going to get you a T-shirt, and I want to see you wearing it proudly in Delaware.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a great Sunday,
All right, you too.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Tina.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Tina from Delaware. She's probably
She knew the rule.
well, she's from Dover. She's in the military. I'll bet.
You think?
Absolutely. Everybody. Well,
she said, "Sir." So I'll bet you.
Everybody in Dover
Yeah.
is either in the military
Well,
or married to the military.
Anyone who calls you sir has
That's
to be trained to do that.
All right, let's talk to Darlene. Darlene from Northeast Philly, where I
Northeast.
grew up, sort of, kind of.
I'm here.
Depends on where.
where.
Where in Northeast?
Where in Northeast, Darlene from Northeast?
Right off of State Road.
State Road.
State
okay.
Road, far Northeast.
Far north. So that was closer to me.
Yeah.
That was Bustleton,
What are
Somerton.
you, near the prisons?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
Pretty much around the
Oh,
corner.
so you're near cop. Yeah, well,
State and
it's
like
kind of between the two.
Ron, State and
Yeah,
State and-
that wasn't close to me,
Yeah,
actually. That
she's
was
up near
further.
the river.
I was up near Feasterville.
She's in the river wards.
Yeah, gotcha.
So Darlene, how are you today?
I'm pretty good today.
Will
Okay.
people call you Dar or Lean? How do they refer to you?
D.
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 I love it. All right, D. Is it little D or big D or just D?
Just D.
Okay. All right, D.
What's the Q, D?
Yeah, what's the
The
QD?
Q is
Whoa!
I've
Wait a
been
minute. I got to
married.
stop and take a moment's notice to Rappaport on that one.
You like that one?
What's the QD? Yeah, thank you, Larry.
I'm bowing here.
Oh man, he plays the drums. He's one
He
cool
like that.
cat. all right. What is the QD?
okay. I've been married for 18 plus years,
My condolences.
and my husband and I we split up. But
Okay.
Thank goodness. It's about
part of
time.
our
What were you waiting for?
Yeah, it's about time you got rid of
I know,
his.
right? What was
his-
I waiting for?
Exactly.
And he bought a car. Well, we bought a car, and only in his name. But I've been paying the bill ever since we got the car.
So he's telling me, oh, well, he wants his car back.
Yeah, that's called marital property.
Yeah.
That's called marital property. Now, it is titled in his name. And so it is a part of the marital estate. And once you get to the point where a court or somebody divides the marital estate, you're entitled to half the value. If it has value, you're entitled to half the value of that car. The question is, since it's titled in his name, can he get it now? And that's an interesting question. And I think it really depends. I think legally he does, okay? Like if you don't file a divorce, nothing's filed, he could call the police and say, hey, she's got my car. They're going to say, well, whose name's it titled in? And he's going to say mine, and they could, he could get the car back, I think, right now. I think he could. He could just come and break into the car. And
he's the owner, right?
He could have it towed away from your house.
Yeah, if the police came, they would see he's the owner.
Right. But that doesn't mean it's not half your car, because it certainly is half your car, whether it's in your name or not. If that car's worth $5,000 today, you're entitled to $2,500 or thereabouts, because under equitable distribution, all the things that are gathered and acquired during the marriage are the property of both spouses, as long as you're purchasing them with your money. I mean, if he inherited a car from his grandfather, that would be a different story. But if you all purchased it together, whether it's in your name or not, you are entitled to half the value. So if that car has a value, you got half of it when it comes to equitable distribution, and the value will be determined on the date that you handed him the car. So if you gave him the car today and it was worth $5,000, by the time you all get divorced, it's only worth $2,000. I think you have an argument that you gave him an asset worth $5,000 at the time you gave it to him. Does that help you?
Okay. So, yeah, that includes everything in the marriage. So if he wants a divorce right now and we go to court, I can get half of everything that we accumulated during our marriage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, and maybe more than half, depending. Again, equitable distribution doesn't mean equal distribution. It might mean that you get 60% of everything. It might mean you get 40% of everything. It really depends on the totality of the circumstances. How much do you earn? How much does he earn? Where did it come from? There's a million things that get taken into consideration. But generally speaking, 50-50 is a good assumption for most people, though it's not a law or rule. The rule is that it should be equitable. But again, I don't want to belabor that point. It is primarily a 50-50 division. All right, Dee, we got to run. I hope I answered your questions.
You did. But do I need a lawyer?
What do you think, Dee? Do I need to answer that question?
I think I need a lawyer.
215-227-2727. That's the number to call. Our Northeast office handles the divorce work, so it won't be far from you. We're right up on Bustleton Avenue. Give us a call. We'll make an appointment. You can meet with the attorneys this week, right away.
Okay.
Do not delay, Dee. Have a great Sunday, and thanks for calling Court Radio.
Thank you.
Do I need a lawyer?
Well,
do you need to breathe?
The real answer to that is if it's a simple divorce. You really don't. But here it's not simple because there's property that you have to.
Even a simple divorce doesn't have. You want to make sure that your rights
true,
are
and it's
protected.
very inexpensive.
Yeah,
it's worth it to do it right.
215-227-2727. You got legal questions. David and I have the answers. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Philadelphia. Whether you need musculoskeletal rehab or an immigration physical, call 888-945-EXAM. Our board-certified physicians have more than 80 years' experience from post-injury rehab to DNA paternity testing. To make an appointment at one of our 3 convenient locations, call 888-945-EXAM. Get premium expert care. Center City Medical Center, serving Northeast, North, and Center City, Philadelphia. If you've been injured on the job and are entitled to workers' comp, you need someone fighting for you from the start. Call Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law. Don't rely on your employer or insurance company to get it right. Call 215-512-1500. If you're entitled to workers' comp or it's being challenged, Jeffrey Gross can help get the money you deserve, and he won't get paid unless you get paid. Call 215-512-1500. Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law, representing Pennsylvania's injured workers for more than 20 years. It's a legal and financial squeeze. You're unable to work because of an accident, but your legal case is still not settled, so you can't pay the bills to take care of your family. But now, thanks to U.S. Claims, you can. If you have a pending lawsuit, call 1-877-U.S. Claims. While you're waiting for your settlement, U.S. Claims can help you pay the bills. Get out of the squeeze. Call 1-877-U.S. Claims today. If you have legal problems and need answers, call My Philly lawyer, Dean Weitzman, first at 215-227-2727 for personal injury, medical malpractice, birth injury, and more. Call Dean first.
He will fight for your rights. That's what Dean Weitzman is all about.
Call My Philly lawyer, Dean Weitzman, first. 215-227-2727. My Philly lawyer, when winning matters most.
The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Need more legal answers? Here's more Court Radio with your host, Dean Weitzman.
Welcome back. It's Court Radio, and I'm still Dean Weitzman. I'm joined in the studio with my co-host, the one, the only, QD Rappaport. Hey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, David.
We are back.
We're back, and we had a fun half a show.
Fun half.
And we're looking forward to the next half. You know, folks, if you've got legal questions or legal needs, there's only one number to know in Philly, and that's 215-227-2727. If it's not an area we want to focus on, if it's not an area we specialize in, we'll be happy to make a referral to counsel who does. It's kind of a one-stop shop. We'll hook you up no matter what. 215-227-2727. That's all you need to know. And we got a caller on the line. We got lots of callers on the line, but we're going to talk to... Who are we talking to, David?
I don't know. You have the slips.
Melissa. From Queen Village. Hello,
okay.
Melissa. Welcome to Core Radio.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
We're doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Great. I'm a little irritated.
Mm-hmm. You sound a little irritated.
Here's the deal. Okay, so I live in an apartment building, and which shall remain anonymous. However, I signed a year lease, and my lease is almost up. I have a neighbor who just moved in April. He is crazy. He has been blasting his music he blasts music all day and all night. I went to his house. I asked him to turn it down. He never turns it down. So finally, I called the police. I told concierge, and then, he still kept the music going. I knocked on his door, and he finally comes out and starts cursing at me, threatening me, telling me not to F with him. Sorry to say on the radio, but and I'm like, and now he's like making gunshot sounds when I walk past his door. He's threatening me. I'm scared of this man. So I told the landlord, the building manager, and she basically said, by no means should you be talking to this man at all. You should be telling us because we're management. But when I talked to this guy, he actually flipped out on me because his issue was we called the police and we've been calling the front desk on him and they've been coming up to his apartment. And I'm like, no, we haven't. That was like my first time doing it. My question is basically now she wants to. I requested to end my lease early, and I put it in writing. I verbally asked her, and she's like, "Oh, let me remedy the situation. Give me a chance." And so I'm waiting to hear a response. She says, oh, "Okay, I'm going to come up and like listen to the music from your apartment and let him play his music so I can choose a happy median." Okay, like he's really going to play the music at the octave that he's been playing it when you're not around. He gets pissed off. I don't know if she talked to him, but whatever she said to him, he got pissed off to the point now he's blasting his music every day until he decides to go to bed. And right as soon as she leaves, as soon as management leaves,
Melissa, I hear you're upset. Yeah, Vanessa,
we hear your pain.
Yes, and I'm going to answer you. I think the best answer to give you is that you have to open an escrow account. You want to get out of that lease? The quickest way to get out of that lease, I believe,
is to stop paying them.
Is to stop paying them.
Right.
We never,
but
well, see, the thing about it is that we did that. We tried to get an escrow account, and they're like, "There's no escrow account."
Who said that?
And so the actual building manager.
No. You open your own. You open your own.
Okay.
You go
to the bank.
A bank, any bank, your bank, and you open a separate savings, checking, doesn't matter, an account, and you call it the Vanessa escrow account. Okay. And then instead of giving the rent to your landlord, you put the rent into that account, and you send the landlord a notice, and you tell them, August's rent is now in the Vanessa escrow account, and when I have the right to enjoy my home, what I'm renting, I will give you those funds.
How much time's left in the lease?
Well, I have. I did not pay July.
Right.
And now I have the remaining. My lease is up in August, but I can't take any more of this man.
All right, wait a minute.
I'm leaving next week.
Did you notify them? Did you notify them that you're leaving? Okay, and you gave them proper notice.
Them that I was leaving.
Okay.
But they're like, "Well, you have to pay the remaining of the lease because that's a contract. We're going to stick to it." But basically, you've been ignoring me, and
here's what
you have to do.
You haven't paid it. The money's in escrow.
Put it in escrow, and
you're
leave.
the only one who has access to that escrow. If you put it in escrow, you would only, and we're only talking about a month here anyway. So put the money.
No,
in
2 months, July and August.
2 months.
Yeah,
July and August.
And leave. You've already given them notice, so you're not going to renew. So you can leave. And as long as you have that money in escrow properly, and you can show that, because if they come after you, they'll file landlord-tenant action. You can go.
And if you're convincing, when you get to that landlord-tenant action, that they sue you,
bring the letters you wrote.
The judge might say to you, "Hey, you didn't really have the enjoyment of your property. It was hell, and we're not going to make you pay." And then you get to keep the money.
Scared.
But bring your evidence.
I'm scared for my safety.
Well, also bring the evidence that you notified them and you told them about this, and maybe you have any recordings or witnesses.
Yeah, I do.
Witnesses, friends.
There you go, Vanessa. Thanks for calling Court Radio. You're on the right track.
Yeah,
but
you're
open
fine.
that account. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you. You guys too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, folks, you got to open an escrow account if you got a dispute with your landlord, which you believe really prevents you from enjoying the property that you're paying for. You go to your bank, you open an account, you just call it the Heim Yankel escrow account.
And then what's going to happen here is Vanessa's going to let the landlord, or wait for the landlord to make a claim against her for that rent that's due. And then she'll have the money in escrow. She can go to the judge and explain why she didn't pay. And then the judge will tell her whether she has to pay or not.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
All right, let's talk to John from Mount Airy. Line 3. Yo, John. What is happening in Mount Airy?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
And a good morning to you, John.
Guys, I have a question for you.
Okay. I have an answer.
Okay, back in 2006, I was convicted of 3 counts of theft by deception.
Okay.
Basically, with the total amount, it was considered a felony. Now,
well, wait. It was considered a felony, or it was a felony?
It was a felony.
There you go. Okay. See, and now you pled guilty, or you were found guilty?
I pled guilty.
Okay. So now you want to know what about that? Can you expunge it? Is that it?
Yes. Can I? I've seen different ads on the internet where you can get it anything expunged.
No.
Now, can you get it?
No.
No.
Is that quick enough?
Felony.
Yeah. Well, misdemeanor. I mean, right
actually,
now.
I shouldn't say no. The governor can expunge it.
No, they can pardon
you. Well, that's the same thing.
Give Tom Wolfe a call. But John, the answer is in Pennsylvania today, you cannot expunge any convictions of a felony or even a misdemeanor.
Okay.
The only thing that can be expunged currently is an arrest record that does not result in a conviction or summary offenses.
Yeah, like tickets.
You know, things that are not even misdemeanors. They're below a misdemeanor. But anything that rises to the level of a misdemeanor and or certainly a felony in Pennsylvania is not expungible. Now, they're working on a law in Harrisburg. They've been working on this law forever. Administration after administration. These guys are such toads. They will have the dumbest laws they pass overnight. And then something that's actually good for the people.
Right, takes years. Or never.
So they are coming up with a law that will permit some expungements of misdemeanors. But even in that instance, nobody's looking to let felonies get expunged. So the answer is no, and don't waste your money even making a phone call. You're not expungible. Sorry for the bad news. But the good news is you live in Mount Airy, and it's a wonderful, lovely neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
All right. All right.
All right. Thank you.
See you, John.
Dean just butt dialed somebody.
Yeah, no.
I heard your phone. Someone was butt dialing you.
Yeah. I'm supposed to go on a motorcycle ride this morning. Mm-hmm. I told the guy I'm on the radio until 8. He has to call now at 7:15, thinking I was lying. I'm not really on the radio. 215-227-2727. David, we've been trying to get to a part of our day today, and we're going to do it right now. Because Vanessa reminded me, does a tenant have a right to expect to be safe in their apartment?
Well, of course.
Does a landlord have a duty to make sure that you are safe?
Yes.
You think so?
Well, within a certain degree. That's the issue. How far does a landlord need to go?
Well,
but they certainly need to make you part of having a habitable residence is safety.
A maintenance man is charged with killing and raping a Drexel grad.
Okay.
July the 24th. And Drexel, the community, had given him keys to the apartment. They fired him and didn't take the keys back? Oh, a private landlord. Sorry, Drexel. Lord have mercy, Dean.
Another disenfranchised listener.
A private landlord had given him keys to the apartment.
Right, when he was the maintenance man.
Right.
Then he gets fired, and they don't take the keys back.
Right. Now, this is, to me, certainly an easier question. I've had this case. Years ago, I represented a family who hired
wasn't the same case.
Wasn't the same
Yours
case.
Yours was a background check issue.
Well, so is this to some extent. Mine is actually a harder case. I represented a family whose family member was killed by a nursing aide who had gained access to the house because a company that put him there hired him and didn't do a proper background check.
Right.
And we got, in that case, a lot of money and an admission by the company that they didn't do a proper background check. So the question is, does a landlord who allows somebody into as an employee, okay, because this guy was a maintenance man, he was an employee, does a landlord have a duty to make sure that those who they give keys to your apartment are safe people who don't have a criminal background that makes it more likely than not that they could be a danger to the tenants?
And I say yes.
Yeah, I do as well. I think a landlord absolutely who's hiring people and giving them the keys to the castle has a duty to make sure that the person they've given these keys to is safe. is emotionally stable, is normal.
Now, in the case we were talking about near Drexel, so they forget to take the keys back, and the guy can get access to the area. That, to me, doesn't sound at the same level, but they're definitely negligent. You can argue there's a negligence there that they didn't get the keys back. It's hard, though, to really, I think, prevail in that case because, did they have reason to know that the maintenance man was capable of doing this? In other words, if it's just a normal employee that gets fired and they don't take the keys back, how does it make them responsible now just because they fired him that he gains access because he had those keys? You know what I mean? There's got to be, I think, some connection, like a background check. They should have known that if they knew he was dangerous,
right? Or he robbed,
capable. He
robbed people,
and then they didn't take the keys back. Then you can say, "Hey, why wouldn't you take this guy's keys back?" Because look at the situation. What if they took the keys back, but then a week later he broke in? Right? He didn't have access. He broke in. Well,
Right.
Are they responsible for that? No. But if it was a background check issue, they still might be responsible. Who knows? I think this is a fine line, this one.
When somebody takes it upon themselves to commit a crime,
right?
To what extent will a employer, in this case, an apartment complex, to what extent will they be responsible? And as David says, it is a difficult question, but the answer lies in how much control they could have exerted to have prevented it.
Right.
And so every case is taken on its own accord. But if you've been injured, okay, and I think that's the key here, not if you had some property taken.
Right.
That's why they have insurance. But if you've been injured, if you've been assaulted by an employee who worked for an apartment complex, I think you have to pursue the claim to see the extent by which the apartment complex could have prevented that crime.
Right.
215-227-2727. We will analyze those cases if you have been the victim. But right now, we got to take a quick break to honor our sponsors, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
For 20 years, Center City Medical Center has provided premium expert medical services for Philadelphia. Whether you need musculoskeletal rehab or an immigration physical, call 888-945-EXAM. Our board-certified physicians have more than 80 years' experience from post-injury rehab to DNA paternity testing. To make an appointment at one of our 3 convenient locations, call 888-945-EXAM. Get premium expert care. Center City Medical Center, serving Northeast, North, and Center City, Philadelphia. If you've been injured on the job and are entitled to workers' comp, you need someone fighting for you from the start. Call Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law. Don't rely on your employer or insurance company to get it right. Call 215-512-1500. If you're entitled to workers' comp or it's being challenged, Jeffrey Gross can help get the money you deserve, and he won't get paid unless you get paid. Call 215-512-1500. Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law, representing Pennsylvania's injured workers for more than 20 years. It's a legal and financial squeeze. You're unable to work because of an accident, but your legal case is still not settled, so you can't pay the bills to take care of your family. But now, thanks to U.S. Claims, you can. If you have a pending lawsuit, call 1-877-U.S. Claims. While you're waiting for your settlement, U.S. Claims can help you pay the bills. Get out of the squeeze. Call 1-877-U.S. Claims today. If you have legal problems and need answers, call My Philly lawyer, Dean Weitzman, first at 215-227-2727 for personal injury, medical malpractice, birth injury, and more. Call Dean first.
He will fight for your rights. That's what Dean Weitzman is all about.
Call My Philly lawyer, Dean Weitzman, first. 215-227-2727. My Philly lawyer, when winning matters most.
following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Need more legal answers? Here's more Court Radio with your host, Dean Weitzman.
Yo, good morning and welcome back. It's Court Radio and I'm Dean Weitzman. This is your hour of legal questions and answers brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. I'm joined in the studio with my co-host, QD Rappaport. Welcome back.
Hello.
It's QD, the drummer extraordinaire.
Of course.
You playing anywhere lately?
On a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm playing here and there. Let's put it that way.
All right.
I don't have anything cooked up yet. And a couple things in September. And
there you go. Well, will you let us know when you got something?
Okay, I will.
The Court Radio family wants to come support our
next time
our co-host.
Yeah. All right, I will.
All right, we'll drum the heck out of that announcement.
Okay.
Until you have a whole crowd full of people screaming, QD, QD. 215-227-2727. Let's talk to Janet from Pennville, New Jersey.
Pennville.
I don't think we've had anybody from New Jersey this fine
certainly
Sunday.
Not Pennville.
Yeah, where is Pennville?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pennville is as far south, I think, as you can go. It's right at the tip of the Delaware Memorial Bridge.
Wow. And you get us loud and clear down there, huh?
Yes, we do.
All right.
There you go.
Very
as
cool.
far as the Delaware Memorial Bridge, Pennville. So do you go to the beach often? I mean, are you down near the beach?
Yeah, no, I don't. But it's Pennsville. With an S.
Pennsville.
Pennsville. Of course, I know Pennsville. It was Pennville I didn't know. I met Governor Christie down at Pennsville. He yelled at me. He was eating an ice cream cone.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder, is he really running anymore? Is he still
There's
running?
like 15 people running on the GOP thing. So
is that the most ridiculous thing?
Yeah.
We're going to have Donald Trump on
I
coming
wish.
up.
I
Yeah.
wish.
Right.
No.
No, of course not. We would never have Donald
Why?
Trump.
I would
on
love
Court
to have him
Radio.
on. Wouldn't you? I would
All
love
right,
to have him
fine.
on.
If he has the nerve to come on Court Radio,
Yeah.
come on. Bring it on, Donald. Yeah. So what's going on down in Pennsville? What can we do for you today?
Well, I'd like to discuss medical malpractice and how long it generally takes to investigate before your law firm would decide to take the case.
Okay. Well, it depends.
Fair question.
Yeah, it's a fair question. Unfortunately, it's a difficult question.
Yeah, but it's a long time either way.
Okay, so like if you had a medical malpractice claim where you might have had one institution and where you went, they did something wrong on a given day, and it was a distinct event, it might be fairly quick. The bottom line is we have to get the medical records that are relevant to your claim, and then we have to review them and have them reviewed by an expert who would then draw a conclusion or not that there was malpractice. That means that the doctor or institution you went to deviated from the normal standard of care, from the normal way they handled the problem you had. They deviated, and that deviation caused you to sustain an injury. So we have to show that. Before we can file suit, we must show that the case has merit, and we need a certificate of merit. We need a doctor or nurse, depending on, again, the expert we're suing. We need a expert to determine there was malpractice. Now, if you've been to 10 institutions and it's a complicated case, an intertwined case, there's previous injuries and subsequent, again, it will take a long time just to gather the records and have them reviewed. It could take a year. So it could take a few months or it could take a year. I would say is probably.
Yeah. I mean, getting the records is not an easy task, especially when there's multiple.
Sometimes
places,
they cooperate,
right?
and sometimes they don't.
Right.
So, that's real. The bottom line is we need a review of the records, and we need to have it analyzed by an expert, and that can take time. And sometimes we go to experts that are, in California or other parts of the world. We might not have an expert locally that we can turn to who will testify against one of his brothers or sisters.
And this is why you need to get on the case early, because there's 2-year statute of limitations, as you know. We've said that many times. So if it takes a long time to get the records and get an expert, you need that time to investigate and still have time to file a lawsuit. So
once the expert has deemed the case, or once the expert has determined that the case may or may not, or may be medical malpractice,
right.
About how long could the case take?
Well, you mean the case?
Once the case is filed.
Once you have that information, it's fairly quick to file the case because you have all the information. But then the case could take that. There's a question that none of us can answer. At least a year, I would say, in litigation.
I would say more likely the standard is about 2 years.
Yeah,
maybe 2.5, maybe 3. But not usually longer than 3. And
then after a trial, there could be an appeal.
And it really depends on the jurisdiction. For instance, there's huge differences. In Philadelphia, we move cases very quickly in Philadelphia, a couple years from the date of filing, and you're going to trial.
Right.
In Montgomery County, one county away in Pennsylvania,
where cases go to die,
it could take 6 or 7 years to come to trial.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, I don't want to talk bad about the judges in Montgomery County, but, they're a little lazy. Just a little.
Wow.
Yeah. Or they might say they're overworked. There's more cases, but like no attorney with half a brain wants to ever file a case in Montgomery County. So I can't imagine there's more than 3 or 4 cases filed over there. Yeah, I'm only kidding. The judiciary of Montgomery County. Okay, so fine lady from Pennsville, stay on the line. Because your question was so awesome, we're going to get you a Court Radio T-shirt.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, hold on. We'll be right to you. Okay, folks, we're just about out of time, David.
What a shame.
As often is the case.
We have many callers that are unsatisfied.
We do. But, folks, if you have a question, and David and I haven't had a chance to get to it, it's an easy way to handle that.
Easy peasy.
Go to courtradio.com and post your question, which will go right to my piece up phone.
He won't be able to read it, and it'll be deleted. There you go.
It'll go right to my Samsung Edge S6 piece up phone, and I'll do my best to answer it during.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you think Samsung will give me trouble for calling
I think Samsung is on. I think Samsung is on to you, man.
Yeah. All right, come on, bring it on, Samsung.
Yeah, right out in front of 2 Penn Center is going to be a big Samsung truck tomorrow.
I'll put a big rat in front of my 2 Penn Center carrying a big Samsung phone. All right, we'll be right back after. Oh, no, we won't. I'm sorry. Vincent Hughes will be here, the senator extraordinaire. But please go to Twitter.com whenever you want and read about the Samsung phone. It's horrible. All right. See you next week, folks. Have a great Sunday.